And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we are live. Good evening, chat. I'm no longer nervous. I'm feeling hyped, and we are ready to go. I have exciting stuff that I've been looking forward to doing tonight with you. And Toot from the chat, hello out there. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Ethan Graved. And I wanted to also say thanks to a couple new followers we got over the last week. Welcome to Snap Deus, and welcome to Variety. Thanks for following, and I hope to see you soon. So, I've had a lot of caffeine, and I'm super excited. Let's get into it. We're going to keep leveling up today. I've been spending late nights laying in bed as I'm falling asleep and thinking about what we're going to do next here. And I had an idea for some magic. We're going to clean this shit up. We are going to level up. This is the, hopefully, conclusion of what we started last week with the grinding portion, the farming portion of this patch, where we are going to put our joystick stuff all together in a sub-patch and refactor some of this fun crud over here. So, first of all, let's start simple. I just want to take one little piece of this and see if we can make it better. We put this together, this nonsense with trigger and the greater than and this gate, and I just have this feeling it could be much, much cleaner. So, I'm going to start with just a split object here, because I want to make sure this works the way I think it does. Let's put this one at 1 through... whoops. What am I doing? I'm getting ahead of myself. We want low end 1, high end 10. So, let's put a number box up here. Sometimes I find it helps to just, if you're going to refactor or debug something, take just the bit of the max patch, or really any programming language. Take the bit you're interested in, put it in a separate file, and just make that bit work. Because then you don't have to deal with multiple things at once. So, number box, number box, number box, connector up. Whee! If I have 1 through 10, we come out of the left here. If I have 11 and higher, we come out of the right. And I guess I should back up for just a second. I'm getting all excited. Not nervous, just excited. In case we have any new viewers this week, let's make sure that everything is still working and remember what the heck we're doing here. We are making this cool little noisy space synth that is going to be controlled by this PlayStation controller. And in our max patch over here, if I lock it, select my controller from this menu, then when I hit the X button, we should still hear stuff. In fact, this is always a good idea before you refactor. Make sure everything works before you tear it apart. Yep. When I hold left, our filter goes left. When I hold right, our filter goes right. I can control up, down, and left, right with the joystick. I can mash the X button and get little notes. Or I can hold it and get long swooshy sounds. Cool. So yeah. We're good to go. Now, onward and upward. Where the heck was I? Here we are. Now, I'm going to take another split object. I'm going to make this one 20 through 30. Do you see where I'm going with this, chat? I think we don't need this gate at all. Let's take our number boxes, connect them over here, and see what happens. So now, I should get, yep, so if I am over 10, we're coming out, oh, right, never mind, I got my numbers a little wrong. We want 11 through 20. So if I have 1, we come out of this number box on the left. If I have anything up to 10, we're coming out there. If we're over 10, we're going into this split object over here, all the way up to 20. And I can add as many more of these as I want. Freedom! No gates necessary. Gates can sometimes be a little slow and messy in Max because you have to make sure you're sending your message to open or close the gate before you do anything else. So I like this a lot better. Look how symmetrical and clean this is. That's usually a good sign with any programming language. When things are easy to read and symmetrical, I feel like that's a sign you're doing something right. So you see what we got here now, chat. We have a range that is split into 3 groups of numbers. If I put in a 5, then we come out here. If I put in a 25, oops, yeah, no, that's right, we come out here. If I put in anything in the middle, we come out here, which is just what we want for our joystick. So over here, I'm going to do a save as, because I don't trust anything. We have something that works, and before I break it, we're going to save it. And that's another good rule of thumb for any programming language. If I was doing this in Ruby, we would be making a git commit right now. Little joystick is going crazy. So, for the newcomers here, this is what's coming out of our joystick on the x-axis that we figured out. You can see that if I go left, we get 0. If I go all the way to the right, we get 255. And if we're in the middle, it's like 135, 137, somewhere in that range. So that's why we needed the 3 separate groups. So I'm going to take... Now this is a little tricky. We want to make sure that we keep our connections from breaking. Thinking. So this stuff here, let's remember what this is doing. This is receiving what we called the nudge amount. So instead of directly scaling 0 to 255 on our filter, we are using our joystick like we would if this was a Mario game or something. If we are holding the joystick to the left a little bit, we're going to nudge our filter left by just that amount. If we push it all the way to the left, then we're going to be nudging it a lot to the left. So we have that range set to between -40 and +40 if we are in the upper range of our filter, and we have it set to smaller numbers, increments of 4, if we're in the lower range of our filter, because it's much more sensitive down there. So we want to keep this for now. I'm going to put it safely over here. We don't want to mess with that. We don't want to mess with that yet. This is what we want to mess with. So let's also move this out of our way a bit. We have our ranges set up. So what we want is our input is here. Let's take, heck, let's just take what we got over here. Copy. We are going to, hello, we have a second viewer, welcome. Hello there. Feel free to pop into the chat, introduce yourself, throw out suggestions if I'm doing something dumb, I want to hear about it. I want to hear about what you're working on. Or if you want to just hang out and listen, that's totally a-okay too. Thought I would just say hi there. We don't need this crap. Let's move this too. Let's move this. Our goal is we're going to clean all of this crap up. So, here's our splits, our nice split chain. And what we want is... You know what? I'm feeling brave. We did a save as. I'm just going to delete this and get it out of my heckin' way. There. So, don't need that. Our input is going to go here. And low end of this is going to be... Well, that's right. Okay, so... I'm now regretting my bravery. I want to have this to look at. I also want to move it over here Give ourselves some space. This is one of those times I kind of wish I had a larger screen to work with. But, you know, c'est la vie. So what we're doing right now is this number comes in here, we trigger it, and if it's more than 136, then here, let's just manually, yeah, if it's more than 136, then we come over here, and it goes into this split. So that's kind of what we want to steal. This is going to be cool, chat. Bear with me. It's always nice to clean it up and then get to delete something. So this guy, we also, so this is what I didn't want to lose. If we are coming out of the right, okay, I see what I did. Thinking. So if we are getting a lower range of numbers, we want to send it into this scale. If we're getting a higher range of numbers, we want to send it into this scale. Okay, I'm brave again. Let's delete this. We're going to go split 0 through 135. No. Alright, let's stick to, 0 through 136. That's what we have over here in this scale. That's what we're expecting. Input here. If we get something in that range, we're going to come out of this outlet, and we're going to go into this scale. If we don't get something in there, it's going to go to the next split, which is going to be our 0 range. Well, it's going to turn into a 0 when we're done with it. So this should be 137. Oh, that's interesting. So I think I made a little mistake over here. Little oopsie. We want to actually have a dead zone for 0. Oh, goodness. This is why we had our gate, I think. But we can do this, chat. I believe in us. We're going to get this figured out. Because I didn't like that gate. We can do better than that. So just making sure I understand my numbers here. If I go left, we have 0. If I go right, we have 255. I wanted to make sure it wasn't the reverse of that, 255 to 0 or something. So, woo, yeah, we want, let's say 0 through 134. We know that is left. And then let's also make this scale be expecting those same numbers, 0 through 134. And then the next range is going to be our middle, which we want to end up being 0. So that's going to be 135 through 137, let's say. Give it a bit of a bigger dead zone, because we want to be able to jump back to middle real fast and stop moving if we want to. We also don't want it to jump around like it's doing. See up here? It's, too many patch cables. Escape. Zoom. See how it's doing this? This is why I'm wondering about this little middle range here. 136, 137. This could even be different if I have a different controller. So I want to make sure we have a nice, safe dead zone in the middle where the joystick stops. And that's going to be this guy. And if it's not in that range, we're going to come out of here. And we actually don't need any other splits, because anything out of here is going to be a higher number and go here. And anything that comes out of here, we just want to trigger 0. Trigger. I guess I can just use T0. T for trigger. And that just goes straight in our little number box over here. And yeah, I think that that's all we need. I'm going to put some number boxes in here so that we can watch what's actually happening, because see also, DTA. Don't trust anyone. Want to make sure this is actually doing what I want it to. And now what we expect is grabbing the controller, We're going to zoom on in. I'm going to put this over here. Yeah, okay, that's fine. So when I go left, we should see numbers coming out here and going into this scale. Yep. And as you can see, they're being scaled from 0 to minus 10. Oh, minus 4. That's correct. Yep, 0 to minus 4. We want those lower numbers to cause smaller increments. And then when we go to the right, okay, and also we're getting a 0 here, right in the middle. And when we go to the right, then... Okay, that bug we dealt with last time is back. We have to make sure to deal with that. So middle to the right, we get up to 40. That is correct. Middle to the left, negative 40 until we nudge the controller. Yep, this was what we dealt with last time. That's why this crap is here. So when we change, this is triggering a bang, which means go in max. And this bang is coming up here. So it should trigger another number. What do you think about this? How did we fix this last time? But our split's working, so that's cool. So I'm going to save this. And this is going to be nice when it's done. Just thinking about where we want this to go. Let's put this over here. Let's put this over here. Yeah, sure. Put this here. Put this here. Now this logic goes with this number box. There we go. And we're going to figure out what to do about that in a minute. I'm going to delete it for now. We're feeling brave, chat. And then this goes over here with this number box. This trigger 0 should be the last thing that happens. If we jump back to the middle, we should get this. We might want to do something to force that to be last at some point, but that's not the problem we're on right now. Let's align these patch cables, get them out of our way so we can think straight. There we go, because all these are going to the same spot. Look at that. Look how much better that is already. Now we can actually debug this. Right. I'm going to delete this too. We're going to find a better way to do this, because it's not actually fixing it now. That's just one of those things where, like, I've got a gut feeling there's a better way. But this is looking better. So I'm just going to put a bang here, because we want to watch what's happening. I'm going to save this. Got my controller. Okay, we're still in. Now, let's make sure we understand the behavior of this bug. We figured this out last time, but it has reappeared. Tea. Everyone take a sip of tea, chat. Or coffee, or whatever your pleasure is. I need this cable. Cables! Too many cables. Inside and outside of the patch. So, here's our bug. When I go all the way to the right, this still says 4. That's bad. You see right here, it says 40. We want this to match that. If I move my joystick a little bit, now it says 40. If I go to the left all the way, it's going to still say 40. Yep. And it should be 4. Yep, see, that didn't change until after we'd already gotten a negative 40 here. So that is bad. Yep, this bang is not happening at the right time. Yeah, see, okay. This is not changing right away for some reason. This logic is sound. Every time that our nudge amount changes, we should be re-triggering whatever our input value is to scale it correctly. But the problem... So this is a new problem, chat. This is now not changing correctly for some reason. Okay. So, let's make a little send here. We're going to say send rescale. Because that's what this bang is doing. When we change the nudge amount, we want to re-trigger the scale object. So I'm going to say this. Let's make this a little longer. Let's do the same thing over here. Whoops. Come here. Come here. There we go. Get rid of this. Well, we might want to see. Let's do this. Yep. Yep, yep, yep. Put you there. Put y'all up a bit. Make this a little wider. Make this taller too. Bear with me, chat. I don't know, I find this stuff relaxing. Nice to tidy things up. Yep, yep, yep. Guess this doesn't need to be wide. Oh, yeah, it does. That's why. I want to have room there. And that. Cool. And that's still going into scale the low output. That's still going into scale the high output. Steal this bang. This is just because I want like a visual indicator of when this is doing its job. Move this here, put that there, connect that up. Cool. Ah, there. That's what we want. Yeah, something like that. Or we could just make that a corner. Okay, okay, I'm done. I'm done. I'm almost done. You guys up here. There! Now look how nice that is. We can actually see what's going on. Now we have to actually send this somewhere. This should be received. I suppose up here. So this is just going to re-trigger whatever our current input value is. We can prove that to ourselves. Oh, I don't need a bang here. Let's make sure this is doing what we expect it. Even if we're sitting at the same number, if I hit this bang, we should see this number jump over here. And we do. So, yeah, that should do what we expect. Trick is, now we gotta go and look somewhere else and figure out why this is not happening at the correct time. So we're gonna zoom out, we're gonna hit save. This is coming from up here. Right. Here we go. So let's look at this. Let's see what's happening here. Yeah. So we've got some bang indicators here showing what should be happening, and it looks like it's working. So what we want to be happening here is we've got input coming in of... Let me think for a second. This is the current value of our filter frequency. We are clipping it at between 120 hertz and 9,000 hertz because we decided that that's what sounds the best last time. And, right, okay, so here's what is happening. There's a better view. So the current value of our filter is coming out of here and into here. And it is being added to whatever we are receiving from our joystick. So this is the output of our scales down here. See how we're getting between 0 and -4 right now? Because I'm going left. And when I go right and I pass a threshold, now we're adding 31 every time. And we're triggering this calculation with a metro, which is just sending a bang every 10 milliseconds. So it's saying listen every 10 milliseconds. And we're taking the current value of our filter, we're adding this amount from our joystick, which is either subtracting or adding, depending on if we're going left or right. We're clipping it, and then we are triggering that float value twice. First, it goes over here and actually changes the value of the filter. So it's a little loop. We come out here, go through the calculation, and then back in. And that's why we can actually see what's happening on this display as well as hear what's happening. Because this whole filter, all of its settings, are coming into this object, which is what's actually processing the audio. And I guess as just a review as well, we're just sending white noise through this. We've got a noise object somewhere else, but that's not relevant right now. We have filter value coming through here, getting added to the joystick amount, clipped, sent back in, and then sent through here, where we check and see if it's below or above the threshold of 1,000 hertz. If we're below, then this is true, and we say select one, and... excuse me. So anytime this is true, and we're in this lower range, then we're triggering 4, which is our nudge amount, and we're multiplying it by -1. Yeah, that's right, because if we're going left, we want negative numbers, and we send that downstairs over here, where it's getting received. See? And we know this much is working. Once we get the right numbers in here, this is going to work. But what's happening, I guess I'll zoom out a little bit, is that somehow there's a disconnect here. We're not getting 4 right away, and we're not getting 40 right away. So we got to focus on up here. This is very strange. Looks like it's working. Any hints for me, chat? Anyone have a guess? And that's not rhetorical. I have no idea what the hell is going on here. But, I mean, this is part of the fun of this whole stream, is that we get to figure these things out together. Alright. So first I'm just going to watch what's happening. This is right. Yep. That looks good. I sure hope this isn't just like a delay because my computer is running slow. That would be lame. It seems like it's more predictable than that. Because if I nudge it, then it'll work. We need to see both these things at once. Let me put the controller down and zoom out. Something here is just not lining up. Nudge amount left. Yep. Yep. This is what's not happening. Okay, let's move more things out of the way. What the heck is this? Oh, this is the Y-axis. We do need this, but not right now. It can be out of the way. We need this. This is what's taking the input from our controller. We don't need it right now. I want it out of the way. Phew. Be gone! And this is our focus. I want to take this up here. I want to be able to see both of these things at once. We're also pretty sure this filter is doing what it should. I'm just going to move it over here a little bit. And this is just generating our audio when we receive the X button. It should go over here as well, because we're not messing with that right now. We know that works. Yeah, alright. Cool. Need to be able to see both of these things at once. So this is going over there. This is going to scoot up here. Let's actually make this a send as well. Let's say send, we're going to say raw left joy X. Yeah, that's fine. That comes in here. We're going to say receive. Watch this just like work once we clean this up. Receive right there. Now we can delete this and put this wherever we want. And yeah, both of these things should be coming in here and going into this first split. Lovely. Yes. Look at that. That's getting much better. This is what we want. Come on up here. This comment is in my way. It can come over here. Nice. Alright. Sweet. So, we still getting, yep, we're still getting stuff. Let's hit save. Alright, what is going on? So when we cross the threshold and go left, we get to -4. That's working. When we go right, cross the threshold, we should get 40. And we are. Oh yeah, okay, great. It works now. What the hell? Oh, Max. Yep, alright, we're seeing exactly what we expect to. Oh, good old Max MSP. The Max Uncertainty Principle, I'm gonna call this, is like, it's not working until you really look closely at it, and then it's like, oh, my bad, now I'm working. It really does seem to be working. I'm like really skeptical, chat, but I think we're good. Yep, here's what I'm looking at. This is what I want to see is that as soon as we cross that threshold of 1,000 hertz, which you can see over here is about on this line, then we should immediately see these number boxes flip. And right now this should be saying 0, but that's a different issue. We're going to deal with that in a minute. Because we're in the middle. This should be 0. And in fact, you can see the reason we need this to be 0 is because right now we are constantly adding 0.339 hertz. And our filter is moving ever so slightly. Okay. But yeah, okay, we are seeing indeed, when I go left, we go -4, right, 40. Yep, immediately. Alright, we're good. We're gonna call that fixed. Magic. What the hell? You know, part of me wants to say that this doesn't happen when you're using text-based programming languages, but having done a bunch of JavaScript, I can't actually make that claim. Sometimes stuff is a little mysterious, but if you really zoom in on it, and you know what you're looking for, and you know why you're looking for it, you can really put walls up to make sure that shit is clean and that you're getting what you want. I've seen some shit, but I'm glad this is working. We're good. Oh man, there's a bunch of chat in here. I'm sorry. I was really focused on this. Teeth Engraved says, there might be an input lag timer thing you can download. I know people into fighting games are obsessive about frames. That's a good call. We might need to do that at some point, but I don't think we're there quite yet. We're still in the early stages of this. I feel like Max Matthews would have liked that. The max uncertainty principle, I mean. Well, thank you. Yeah, that definitely, I think he would have gotten a chuckle out of that. Max Matthews is the man who Max MSP is named after, along with Miller S. Puckett. But Max Matthews, in case you guys don't know, was the first person to make music with a computer. And really lived a fascinating life, and I was so happy to have known him. He was such a sweet guy, and I learned so much from him. Really, one of my mentors, and man, I could tell some stories, but yeah, let's get back to it and get her done. We've got our nice cleanup here working, and now you know what's neat? We have this in a neat little place where we could put this away in a sub patch if we wanted to. We might want to do that later, but so here's the other thing I thought of late at night when I was trying to sleep. That I think we could do to improve this, and then we could move on to our other joystick. So watch, when I go left here, and we hit that middle line, it's a really sudden jump in speed. And I think that we can do better than that. We have the right idea that when we're on the right here, because of the nature of frequency being measured in hertz, you need to move faster in larger increments to be able to hear the difference. Like that versus down here, stuff is much more sensitive. It's a lot easier to hear small increments, but this jump feels weird to my fingers, and I don't want to go further until we have that a little bit more sussed out. And I had an idea, chat, of how we can do that. So we'll move this comment out of the way. We can put it back later. And this here, I think that if we take these nudge amounts and we just scale between them, then we should be in a good place. So kind of what I want to do is have 40 be the top end and 4 be the bottom end, but I want to have values in the middle here. And so I want to think about how to do that. I had kind of a vague picture of it, but it was 3 a.m. So, sip of tea. Let us think. Oh yes! Line tilde. That's what we want. Or not tilde, just line. I believe line is the object I'm thinking of. What did I do? I made 2 of them. Yeah, ramp from one to another in milliseconds. But we don't want milliseconds. We want, like, to scale between these. Oh, yes, that's what we want. So, I want to take the current value of the filter frequency and scale this nudge amount according to what it is, so that it isn't just a hard line at 1,000. So what we're going to do is we want to leave this here. We still want to immediately set the current value of the filter because we want it to be responsive, and here are our changes. But this one, instead of using a greater than, less than, I want to use a scale. Scale is just an object I use constantly. It's very helpful. So what we want to do is scale. Now we're going to have a middle zone where when we get down to lower numbers, let's say 350, something like that. And on the higher end, say a little over 1,000. I'm looking for a little under 1,000 and a little over 1,000. Let's say 1,300. I like 13s. There's no reason for it except that I just like Friday the 13th movies a little too much. So let's scale from 350 up to 1,300. That is going to give us these numbers. 4 up to 40. Let's make it a little higher since we're going to scale up to 1,300. Let's try 45. And now, instead of this, let's just cut this and put it over here. So we might still want it in case we get confused. I do still want this. This isn't going to hurt anything because there's nothing coming into it right now. And, oh, don't need this either. Take this patch cable, throw it away, bring this over here. Excuse me. It was plugged into here. And now this float is going to go through this scale. Oh, look, this is already getting neater. Look at this, chat. We're doing it. And that's going to go in here. I think this should do it. Let's see how this feels. Yeah, that should be all connected up. And this shouldn't hurt anything because it's not connected up. Alright, let's see if this works. Uh-oh. Oh, look, message, stack overflow. Something is not happy. Outlets are disabled until the message is clear. So, this means, oh, I think I know why. Think. I think it's because we're sending it to left and right at the same time, and that's not right. Oh, you know what we need? We need our other favorite object. Incidentally, if we have any other coders in there that use Stack Overflow, when I saw this, this was the first time I encountered our favorite website, Stack Overflow. And I still spend a lot of time on there. But yeah, I think we need our other favorite object, split. Because we want to send lower numbers this way and higher numbers this way. Let's look at what we're getting first so we can figure out where we want to divide this. We're going to take these out for a second. And we're going to watch. And this should have been a float. Float means decimal, in case anyone does not know. Alright, I have to clear this somehow. How do I do that? Console. Anyone in chat remember how to clear a friggin' Stack Overflow? We messed up. What do? I forget. I could look it up on Stack Overflow. Oh no, things are happening. It's fine. We're fine. Look at that. Alright, cool. So, yeah, something... In fact, something is very funky. Oh no, this is right. I was thinking this filter shouldn't be moving right now, and that there was some voodoo happening, but we're cool. This is still connected over here. We're just mapped directly right now. So don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, chat. Stay with me here. So this is the number, but whoa, no, wrong button. This is the number box we care about right now. And I'd kind of like to see the filter at the same time. So when I go left, right, okay. What is happening here? This is not what I, okay. Why am I pasting? Oh, something from the iPad. Okay, we good. We good. So, I'm gonna put a float here. And I just want to look at this by itself for a second. So, 350. Say we're at 350 hertz. We get 4. Then as we get over... Yeah. Yep, as we get up to 1300, now we're up to 40. So that's what we want. That is fine. What broke this catastrophically? Well, I'm pretty sure we want that split, so let's just take a guess at what we want to split. I'm gonna put that in here. And then I'm probably gonna close this and reopen it because there's like funky crap happening. Teeth Engraved says, if you've got load bangs in your patch, there's a way to suppress them when a patch is opened. Hold down Shift and Command Control keys while loading. If that doesn't work, try opening as text in a text edit program. Copy the text and paste into an empty patcher window. Okay, cool, thanks. Yeah, if we need to disable load bangs, we will do that. I think we're cool with that. We only have a couple of load bangs in here. We've got this load mess over here, which is pretty much the same. That's just loading a message instead of a bang. But that shouldn't hurt anything. This is just setting our resonance at 1, and this is turning on our metro. So that's cool. I think what we want, though, is a split here. Split, and let's just guess that... Oh yeah, you know that I kind of see why we broke this catastrophically. We were trying to add and subtract kind of at the same time, and that's not what we want. I'm thinking. So on the low end we're gonna have 4. And on the high end, let's cut it off at 20. And yes, I wasn't thinking about that, but 420, 69. Galaxy brain. Alright, left. If we're in the low numbers, we go here. If we're in the high numbers, we go here. I think that makes sense. We still have our logic that we know works over here. So no panicking. Let's save this. Let's close it. We don't need this anymore. And Teeth Engraved says, the other thing I saw is that having the name of a patcher inside itself will crash Macs. I've never tried that before. Yeah, I bet that would crash Macs. I bet that would confuse the hell out of it. Yeah, we'll keep that in mind. Alright. Let's open this back. You know what? I'm going to be super superstitious. I'm going to actually delete this. And I'm going to reopen it. So Max for Live, audio effect, Space Synth 3 goes right here. Let's open this up. Go ahead and unlock it and select our PlayStation controller. And then, yep, that's cool. No stack overflows this time. Doing good, chat. Doing good. So, let's see what happens. Oh, I'm going to do one other thing. I want to see what is coming out of this split and when. And I'm hoping it's still going to be floats, because I kind of want this to scale gradually. So the reason we have a split here again is because if we're going left, we want to subtract. If we're going right, we want to add. And we want larger numbers on the right. I think this is right. Okay. Now I'm feeling less sure about this, but let's see what it does. This seemed so clear. Alright, left, right. Oh, fuck me. It's not working. No! We were doing so good. Alright. What is happening? Alright, we are getting input. Filter's not moving. Nothing's coming out of here. Alright. This seemed like such a great idea. What is happening? So our joystick is coming in. Let's put our old logic back for the moment and rethink this. This goes away. This goes here. Because this was working. So I kind of want to come back to our island of sanity. Yes. So this still works. We just have this jump in the middle. So let's rethink this a little bit. What we want to do, let's listen for a sec. Oh, our gain slider's down. Come on. Come up a little more. It's not bad. But it's really sudden when we go from this 4 to this 40. So what I really want to do is have like a middle range here. Just sort of sketching this in. Right now we have just an on-off switch here, essentially, where as soon as we hit 1,000, we're switching over. What I want is like a 20 in the middle. And this 20 would be going to both of these places. Same thing as this 4 and this 40. And I would want it to be in the range of, around 800 to 1200. And, oh, greetings to our new viewer. Feel free to pop into the chat or just hang out and listen if you like. So, let's see. This is what we want to replace here, really. Instead of greater than or less than 1,000, what we want is a range here. Thinking. Well, I suppose we could use a split. What if we were to look for... Well, I guess 0 to... Let's say 0 to 800. And I guess we can use integers here because it's just for now anyway. It's just for the logic. And we can reuse our cool little split chain. I still want to preserve a copy of this as it is, because this does work. That's going to go over there. Yeah, that's fine. And these are just sends, so that's not going to break anything, having those sit around over there. I would like this to go away. This is what we want to replace. So if we're getting anything from 0 to 800, I want to trigger this 4. If we're getting anything from 800 to 1200, I want to trigger this 20. We're using our cool little split chain from earlier. And anything else, whoops. No! Cancel. Anything else, I want to trigger this 40. That should work. Let's see how that feels. I feel like this is going to get us closer. That feels better. It's still a little drastic, but... I feel like we were on the right track, chat. We really just want to scale this number into something between 4 and 40. Scale 0 to 1200. Let's stick with what we got here. Into 4 to 40. Instead of these guys. That should really give us pretty much what we want. Oh, you know what that's gonna break? Our little change thingies over here. It's time to do a save as. 4. So now we're gonna get a range of numbers that are gonna go directly into this scale object. And let's throw... We're using integers right now. I guess we probably want floats. Let's do that. Oh, I didn't like that! What the hell? Why did that cause a stack overflow? That's stupid! All I did was make this a float! That's stupid! Okay. Fine. I'm gonna save and close this and reopen it, because that's stupid. Open. Please. Please, sir. Thank you. I mean, we checked this. Alright, fine. Let's leave an integer for now. Whatever. We'll figure it out. So this is gonna come out here. I really want to just see what this number is. Is that okay with you, Max? Yeah? Alright, cool. That comes here. And comes out here. And now we don't need this change, I think. Because it's going to be continuous. I think we can just take this and delete it. So this should be going into the low output. This should be going into the high output. But we do still need... We need to have a way of telling if we're going left or right. But that should be fine, actually, because... This is always going to be negative. This is always going to be positive. It's just the amount. and the amount is going to get smaller depending on this value. And we should really only be triggering this scale object if we're moving left, and this scale object if we're moving right. So I feel like this should just work. What do you think, Chad? Are we going to get another Stack Overflow as soon as I move the joystick? Let's save it. Right into the danger zone. Select our controller. No Stack Overflows yet. Okay. We're good. Alright, I'm gonna go right. It works. It's real fast. Oh, I see why. Look at this number box here. Something's not right here. Look at this guy. It says 41. Our limit is 40. That's bad. In fact, now we're up to 80, 90, 100. So this is what we should have looked at in the scale help object. Help file reference. Read the documentation, chat. That's the lesson here. Scale is not the same as clip. Clip will actually stop us at the boundaries we set. And scale will just take whatever your input is and match it to these parameters so that you get scaled output. It doesn't care if you're outside of your input. So we want to say, we're going to leave this guy up here because this is what we want to hear. We don't want to hear frequencies that are below 120 or over 9,000. It's over 9,000! But down here, we want a tighter limit. We're going to just make this the same as our scale. So, because we don't want to go outside of 0 to 40-ish. Let's make this 0 and, oh my god, what do we do? 1200. Clip 0, 1200. Type 1200. Okay. And, yeah, we're scaling that 0 to 40. So that's correct. Okay, now here's a 40. So now we are actually putting hard edges on our input, so we're not going to go beyond 0 to 1200. Why did I pick 0? Wait a minute. That's not right. That's not right. We're never going to get to a 0 frequency. What am I doing? Yeah, that should have been like a... like a 350 or something. Because we're cutting off at 120 anyway, so let's make this a slightly tighter range. We're going to have to fiddle with these numbers a bit, I think. But I think we're on the right track here. So, there we go. So we are still having this slight issue where if I just peg the joystick all the way to the right and leave it there, this isn't changing. Because our nudge amount is at 40 and we haven't re-triggered the output here. So what do I need to do? We do need to re-trigger something with the input here. We need this rescale to happen. So let's make this a send. We could just make absolutely sure and connect it to this metro here. That should do it. What the hell? So now every 10 milliseconds, no matter what, we're saying resend the input. Which you would think would be happening anyway, because that's how this guy works. This human interface object, we're polling every 10 milliseconds anyway. So this is what we should be getting anyway. But whatever. Okay. Nice. Yeah, that's pretty fast. That's better. That's better. Feels more responsive. I think we need to play with these numbers a tiny bit, but we are getting in there, chat. Let's just tighten this up a little bit. I think we're getting real close. Let's make this like 800 to 1200. And make this match. Go for that middle zone. Okay, now we get a bit of a jump. Yeah, that's moving too fast. We want a wider range than that. Let's go 500 to 1500. That's cool. That's not bad. That's not bad. I think we need to be reaching the lower numbers a bit faster. So let's make this go all the way down to 1. And see how that sounds. Alright, too slow, under 500. But if I make this wider, let's go down to 300 again. Then there'll be more numbers that are in the like 1 to 5 kind of range. Cool. That's better. That's feeling pretty good, actually. I have a hunch that if we just keep making this wider, it might actually... Fuck it, let's just try our full range. So we're going to go all the way from 120 up to 9,000. And that way it should just scale broadly across the whole range of our filter. And then we might want a bigger number up here. Let's try something like 60. So that when we're up in this high range, we are moving much faster. And when we're way down in this low range at 120, then we're moving slower. Oh, that feels great. It's just like a little slow. We're getting really close. Oh my god, chat. It actually feels good. So, let's try 70. I feel like I want it to be just a little faster on the high end. And a little faster on the low end. Yeah, if I keep pushing this higher number larger, we're going to be a little faster on the low end, too. So, let's say 80. And let's say, like, 2. I feel like there's a point where 1 is actually just too slow. Pretty good. Look, I can really control, like, where those frequencies are. And it moves pretty fast, but not so fast that I don't have control. I'm pretty happy with that. I'm pretty happy with that, chat. I think we did good. I want to see what happens if we make this just a bit bigger. Let's say 90. Oh, wouldn't that be weird? Look, 120 to 9,000 getting scaled to 2 to 90. Oh, I like it. Oh, man, I could do that all day. I like it. I like it. I like it a lot. I still kind of wonder if we could use floats here, but I like this enough that I don't want to mess with it. I think this is a good point to save, chat. And guess what? We get to delete this huge mess here. It's not a huge mess. It was a step along the way. It's a happy little mess that we needed. Now look how tidy this is! Oh my god! Line this up, bring this up here, and bring this up. We can line this up. We can line this up. This is like the victory lap when shit's working, and then you gotta be careful to not like re-break it, but we can put this up here. This used to be so messy, chat. I'm stoked. Victory is ours. There we go. And now you can actually kind of, you know, see what's happening. These can stay at the same level because they're happening at the same time. Let's do that. Yeah. There we go. That's our joystick section. And now this is also just much nicer. Look at that. I'm so stoked. Alright, cool. And one final detail before we leave this is, see how this says 0.1? This should be 0. This really should be 0. And there should be a simple way to fix that. Here's our current value of all three of these left, right, and middle values. When we get a 0, we need to like hard set this to be 0. We're not going to get any new values from in here. This is just stuck because our most recent value... Oh, well, we're sitting at 138 here. Maybe we just need a slightly larger dead zone. So 0 to 134. And our dead zone is 135 to 137. Maybe we just need to make this 138. Yeah, there we go. Alright. No, I'm happy with that. And then this should be scaled from 138, not 137. Okay, maybe we don't need anything more here. I think we're good. Sweet. Save. Close. Beep. Remember to select the thing. It works! It totally works! And it feels good. And I'm stoked. Alright, chat. I think we are gonna call it for tonight. Thanks for hanging out. And I'll see you on the YouTubes. Throw me something in the comments if you want to see me do anything in particular. And hit me up on Twitter if you want to share your max patches or your music with me. I really want to make this an inclusive community where we can all share our stuff and share our tricks. So, yeah, it's just the Radical D on Twitter, and I also have an Instagram. I haven't done anything on it yet, but it's the Radical D on Instagram. I'm sure with mad Google skills you can find me. And that's gonna be a stream for me. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out, and good night. That's the wrong scene. Still getting used to this. No, we want this one. This one? Now ending. There we go. All right. Good night, chat. It's been real.